Welcome back. I'm Cory.
And I'm Wallace.
And we're an early retired couple that are currently traveling the world. At the moment, we're in Kuala Lumpur.
And today we've come to the Brickfields area here in KL. This is Little India. So our first stop is actually just behind us here, and it's Mansion Tea Stall. I looked it up, and that is one of the best places to get a traditional cup of teh tarik, which is pulled tea, which is the specialty drink in these parts. So we're gonna check that out, maybe wander around Little India for a bit, find some treats, find some food and snacks, and just have a look around. So this is Mansion Tea Stall. Very local place.
Manager, addition manager, 3 orang.
And here you can see them pulling the tea. Thank you. We've got our cup of teh tarik. This is technically teh tarik C. The C stands for carnation. It's just because they add evaporated milk and sugar to it. And you could see when he was preparing the tea, they were pouring it and pulling it between the two big jugs, and that mixes in the milk and sugar as well as aerates the tea, which I guess changes the way it tastes. Also cools it off a little, I think, so that it's a more tolerable temperature. So we've got that here now, and we'll give this a try. Oh, very sweet, which I'm gonna love, of course. Cory, maybe not so much. It's also very rich. You can definitely taste the evaporated milk. Reminds me a lot of Hong Kong style milk tea, but yeah, it's very tasty. It's also a fairly strong black tea at the base of it, so it's really good. So this place is super local. We're basically just in the seating area that's next, I guess 2 doors down, because the main part of the restaurant only has a little bit of seating and it was very full. So it's a pretty popular place. This tea is absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, I could drink that every day. Delicious. So I've ordered another tea, and I've ordered roti canai as well, which it looks like he's making right there. And that is the, it's like a roti flatbread, and it's going to be served with some curry to dip in, I believe. I've got my second cup of teh tarik for the day, and this is roti canai. It's freshly made, freshly grilled flatbread, really flaky and light looking. And this is, I believe, a dal. Yeah, this should be a lentil curry that I'm gonna dip this into. I'm just gonna taste this on its own first. Ooh, it's really creamy. A little spicy. There's a bit of, looks like a little bit of chili sauce there. Oh, that chili sauce is really sweet actually. That's different. Didn't expect that. But yeah, you can see the roti is very flaky. I don't know if you can see that texture there. I'm just gonna try this on its own first. Very flaky, little chewy. That's pretty good. I'm gonna dip that one. So this is the plain roti canai. The curry, honestly, isn't as strong as I expected. It's actually a fairly mild curry, but it's quite a pleasant flavor profile, though. I like that.
For the record, yes, you got a second cup of dietary, but I drank most of the other one because I really did like it. It's just a little too strong for me. I'm not used to drinking that much caffeine, so but it was really good. Now that we're like into the local, that was $8.
Eight ringgit.
Which is like what, $5?
No. That was, let's see, that was under $3 Canadian. That was probably about $2.75, $2.80, give or take.
So, and he gave me change. I just gave it back to him. I didn't even look. I think it was like a 50 cents. But yeah, sometimes I genuinely am shocked at how cheap it can be.
Yeah, when you eat and drink where the locals do, being in Southeast Asia can be very cheap and done on a very small budget if that's what you want to do.
Unfortunately, that's not an option for me. I have to stick to like the more expensive places, but I will try to find something that I can eat around here. We'll see.
There are things that can be gluten-free locally, but it is a lot tougher. We're just wandering around Little India now. A lot of textile shops, pharmacies, beauty salons, currency changers, lots of those here on this street, and motorbikes and food stalls lining the street. Most of these are closed right now because it's early in the day, but I'm sure this place gets busier later on this evening.
So I was walking down the street and we came across a actual restaurant. It's not very busy in here, but also the time of day doesn't really lend itself to being busy. I ended up coming in, talking to the manager, and we went over the menu. So I guess asafoetida is only used in dal. I guess it's part of the digestive part of the lentils. So I ordered just a simple korma. We'll try it and see how it is, and we'll go from there.
So just to clarify one thing, asafoetida is a spice that's used in some Indian cooking. Now, in and of itself, asafoetida isn't necessarily going to be a problem. I guess the issue is that about half the time, asafoetida is cut with wheat flour in the manufacturing process, which is why Cory wants to make every effort to avoid it. So yeah, just wanted to mention that because even before Cory was gluten-free, I had no idea what asafoetida was. It's because it's not very common in North America, but it is a spice that's used in some of the curries. So there's something to be aware of.
And we actually learned about asafoetida due to the gluten-free groups that we were on from Facebook. They've been very helpful with traveling. I think I'm on like gluten-free KL, gluten-free Singapore, and international celiac travel. They've been super helpful, even with like things that I'm unaware of. So I do recommend checking those out if you're going to be traveling internationally. I got a vegetable korma, and it looks like it's got chickpeas, potato, curry leaves that I can tell. It's got onion, carrot, cauliflower. Let's try it. You can taste the spices. Ooh, it actually has some kick to it too. And yeah, it's delicious. As it turns out, this restaurant has a 4.5-star rating. So
Out of 5, not out of 10. Just to clarify.
And I'm not sure what these are. I think they're like a different type of meat, but that's really good. That was really good. If you like Indian food and you like spice, I highly recommend that place. Even for me, by the end, it was a little spicy, but nothing I couldn't handle. But if you're not used to spice, you're definitely going to be blowing your palate.
Yeah, the manager actually came over to make sure she was okay with the spice. So that was technically a South Indian Tamil restaurant. So slightly different than your standard Indian restaurant that, you know, we're used to in Canada and North America in general. Menu items were similar, but a little bit different all around.
As far as gluten-free, they seem to take care of me really well. I went there when it wasn't busy, but by the time we were leaving, there was a few other people ordering and stuff. So I'd put it on my recommendation list.
It's a really cool mural. Kind of crazy here. There's just all these textile clothing stores on this main strip here. There's music blaring from every direction. I don't know, I'm just gonna turn around so you can see behind me across the street. There's another store blasting their music. There's lit up signboards and everything, and it's just loud and chaotic here. Even though there's not a lot of people right now, it's midday, probably about 12:30 in the afternoon. So it's pretty quiet, but it's still, well, quiet in terms of the number of people, but it's still crazy here. We're just heading back to the apartment now and walking down the street. It looks like, I believe that sign there says this is a police station. Very old, kind of colonial architecture going on here. So you can see the top of the KL Tower there, and that Forest Eco Park that we saw a few days ago. The lower side of it comes out here onto the main road, whereas we went back up towards the entrance that's up by the parking lot at the base of the KL Tower. We're just making our way back to the apartment now, taking a nice leisurely stroll through Kuala Lumpur.
I guess we never actually made it to Little India, which was actually kind of like where we were going, or that was our goal. But
yeah,
we made it to like the outskirts.
It was part of Little India. The actual Brickfields area apparently was another 3 or so kilometers from where we were at the Mansion Tea Stall. I guess there's like a whole other section to it, but there was a lot of thunder rumbling and looked like it could rain pretty heavily. We decided to cut it short and just slowly wander back to the hotel.
The tea was good, and where I feel confident in recommending it. So do check it out if you're around.
One good thing though is that we did find a camera store that had, it was an official GoPro dealer, and we were able to get our hands on a media mod for this GoPro.
So you're welcome.
Yes, so that should hopefully improve the audio quality because the GoPro tends to pick up a lot of background noise. So having the little more directional mic on here should help for future videos. We'll see how that goes. Welcome back. It's another day, and this time we've made it to Little India, or Brickfields as it's known. You can see the street scene behind us is really bustling and busy. We're just kind of standing on a little median right now, just looking down the street, and we're going to wander that way a few blocks and explore Little India. It's 11 a.m. right now, so it's not too busy down here. Got these really pretty arches lining both sides of the street. There's lots of shops open, of course, music blaring everywhere. So it's quite loud, just like the other section of Little India that we were at previously. A lot of textile shops, just the same as before. So in the middle of this intersection, I guess, it's on this big median, we got this really cool arch here. And right behind that archway, there's this elephant fountain. And as we're wandering down the main road here, which by the way is Jalan Sambanthan, I believe is how it's pronounced. We found the Shell Tower here. This looks like the headquarters for Shell here in Kuala Lumpur. It's a pretty impressive looking building.
I found a Indian restaurant, Bombay Talkies, and it's vegetarian and it's got a really amazing review. What is it?
4.9 stars out of 5 off of 2,200 reviews on Google, so it shouldn't be too bad.
So I'm gonna go in and have some food. We'll let you know how it is. Okay, so I feel super comfortable here. I showed them the gluten-free card, and one of their waiters, I'm not sure if he's a manager, but he speaks really good English, and gluten-free, he knew exactly what it was, and it was no big deal.
Our food has arrived, and we've gone with just a couple of snacky options this afternoon. Actually, I think it's technically still morning, whatever. So first of all, we've each gotten ourselves a steaming hot cup of masala chai, which is basically a masala spiced tea, and usually it's going to have cinnamon, ginger, star anise, cloves, black pepper. Did I say cardamom? I think I said cardamom already. It's one of our favorites. It's spicy, hot, and delicious. So we'll see how this is. Oh, it smells really good. Ooh, that's gingery and peppery. What I love about chai, or masala chai in particular, is that everyone makes it a little different. So it always tastes different wherever you go, and this one's no exception. Very peppery and almost floral notes to it. What else we've got today? This is a vegetable pakora, so they're deep fried vegetable fritters, basically coated in chickpea flour, and then it's served with usually a mint chutney, and then this one is tamarind and jaggery, so it's sweet and kind of sour. And I guess I should mention, yes, Cory and I are sharing these snacks today, and so this is all gluten-free. So I'm just going to dip in the tamarind dipping sauce because I don't like the mint one personally. Crispy on the outside, soft and flavorful on the inside. It's basically like a vegetable fritter or a dumpling, I guess, that's fried. Ooh, and it's really spicy. It kicks on the back end. Now, the other thing we're trying today is one that we've never tried before. And this is technically vada pav, except in our case, we're just getting the vada part of it. Vada pav is a street food, and it's this deep fried, savory, spicy potato ball that's coated in chickpea flour. And normally it would be served on a bun as a street food snack. So of course, with Cory being gluten-free, we've taken it without the bun today. And it's served with a garlic sauce on the side and some crushed chilies to accompany it. Ooh, that garlic sauce is interesting. So I'm just gonna cut into this. And I don't know if you can see the inside of that there, if you wanna zoom in. So it's basically a spicy potato ball. Just gonna break off a piece here. A little bit of the garlic sauce, a little bit of the chili. Oh, that's very flavorful. A little bit spicy, really garlicky, really savory. Oh, just a fantastic flavor. Yeah, Cory, you're gonna love that.
So for the record, I found out about vada pav, I think through a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to try it. I've never been able to find it gluten-free, so today will be the test. As my first experience of having vada pav, obviously without the bun, it is phenomenal. so good, so much so that I ordered another one. So anybody who's gluten-free and curious, definitely try it.
Guys, so this restaurant here, what was this place? This is Bombay Talkies. High praise from Cory, who just proclaimed that this is amongst the best meals she's ever had, solely on the strength of that vadapav.
I think mainly it's just so flavorful. Like they weren't scared to bring the heat. It's everything that you want, or at least I want and look for in food, because a lot of times gluten-free is very bland and boring. This is not.
I absolutely agree. This was far from boring. Absolutely delicious, spicy, savory, really tasty. So yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with Cory. So this is Brickfields pisang goreng, which is a fried banana stall. And you can see the big vat of oil there, and they're frying up all sorts of delicious treats here. That's the pisang goreng there. Some fried sesame balls and some other puffs and things like that. And then over here, they've got, again, various fried treats and some different varieties of kueh and other sweet treats here. Looks good, and I think I'm gonna grab a couple things to try. I have absolutely no idea what anything is. Nothing's actually labeled. So I'm just gonna grab a couple of different items to try and hope for the best.
This is a big no for me. People are using the same tong for everything, and we don't even know what's what. And there's no way to guarantee the ingredients because the lady most definitely doesn't speak English, and I think it'd just be a struggle, so I'm just going to take a pass. What is carrot cake?
Yeah, this one is carrot cake.
I've got my pisang goreng, which is a deep fried banana. And they use the little sweet bananas apparently. And I googled it, and this place behind me, which is Brickfields pisang goreng, he's been there in this location for 30 years, selling primarily fried bananas. So it gets a lot of great reviews on Google, and it's been there 30 years, and I imagine that's for some reason. So here we go. Oh wow. Okay, keeping in mind, I'm not usually a big fan of cooked banana, but that's really good. It's really quite different. It wasn't really what I expected. The batter on the outside is super crispy and crunchy. The banana inside is all gooey and cooked, but it's really sweet and fresh. And in fact, I mean, as you know, we're standing there ordering, he's just making them fresh, freshly peeled bananas, going straight into the batter and into the oil to fry. And that is really good, really crispy and delicious. Hi, it's Wallace from the future. We are now back at our apartment, and I'm going to try the other assorted treats that I got from, Brickfields pisang goreng stall. What we have here is what the Malaysians call carrot cake, and that's this guy here. It's not actually carrot, it's made of daikon or white radish. So in Cantonese, we'd call that daikon cake or lobako, but carrot cake is what they call it here, and that's savory.
And technically it is something that I can eat. However, I would never trust a stall or any Chinese restaurant to make it for me. Wallace does make an amazing lobak cake for me at home, which I'm going to be really sad about because I'm not going to be able to have it for ages because it's very labor intensive.
Theoretically, it should just be, the primary ingredients should be white rice flour and grated daikon. But of course, this has been fried, and in a stall like that with all the other stuff they do, there's zero way we can guarantee no cross-contamination of gluten for Cory. So
Or even that it is rice flour
Actually,
versus
yeah.
regular flour.
So that's what that one is. This yellow one here, they call Kuala Lumpur, which when I Google it, actually on Google comes up as Ningou, which is a Chinese, it's a New Year cake. Again, glutinous rice flour and sugar, and I'm not honestly sure what other ingredients, but it should be a fairly thick, sticky, sweet kind of situation going on. And finally, we have here a Portuguese style egg tart. I'm just gonna hold that up so you can see those ones. And yeah, the Portuguese egg tart looks great. It's got that caramelized sugar topping to it. It should just be a nice egg custard underneath with a flaky pastry. So I'm just gonna try all three of these real quick.
And again, the Ningao, if it came from like a grocery store where I could actually read the ingredients, it is technically gluten-free, and I've had it in the past.
So the carrot cake, I'm just gonna show you the inside. There's not much to it. It looks pretty plain. Salty. Honestly, not as good as what I'd expect from in a Chinese, dim sum restaurant, for example. But this was a street vendor stall, so.
Is there the Chinese sausage in it?
No, it's, as far as I can tell, there's nothing in it except just, it's really sticky, that white rice flour, and probably like grated daikon in there. Not much flavor going on there. It's just kind of salty and deep fried, obviously. Yeah, that's probably my least favorite thing that I've eaten on this trip so far. We'll try the Kuala Lumpur next. And so you can see the texture of that. It's just a solid yellow mass, a little bit charred on top. It looks like they've browned it. It's sweet. It's actually eggy as well. Again, a little bit different to the Chinese version, but that's pretty tasty. Yeah, it's just kind of sweet and eggy, almost custardy flavored, but the texture is different because of the glutinous rice flour that it's made of. I like that. That's tasty. And finally, the Portuguese style egg tart. Oh, that's delicious. Just a nice, sweet, smooth egg custard in the middle, a flaky pastry crust. I'll hold that up so you can see the inside of it. That's my favorite of these three for sure. Although, again, the fried banana, the pisang goreng, surprisingly was really good. I'm not usually a fan of cooked banana, but that was actually my favorite of all the items I got from that stall.
That was amazing. Also, something that's never happened before, he knocked off 10% just because I didn't get the bun with the vatapab. I've never had that before, so high praise for that.
Yeah, and so with that, I think that's the end of our day here in Brickfields, Little India. Had a blast. This place is pretty cool. Lots of sights and smells, delicious food to be had here, so well worth a visit if you're in this part of KL. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to like, and please subscribe, as that really helps us out.
And we hope you'll join us in the next video for more adventures. And until then, stay curious and keep exploring.